Epsilon-level mutants, the truly cursed. At the very bottom of the mutant hierarchy, we find Epsilon-level mutants. These are individuals whose mutations offer little to no benefit, or worse, actively ruin their lives. To qualify as an Epsilon mutant, one must have an X gene that causes severe physical or mental hardship without granting any meaningful abilities. For these mutants, their powers are less like gifts and more like punishments handed down by fate. Take Sally Floyd's daughter, for instance. Her tragic mutation caused her to age in reverse, growing younger and younger until her body could no longer sustain life. It's a cruel reminder that, for some mutants, their powers come with a death sentence. The Morlocks, a community of mutants forced to live in the sewers beneath New York City, are home to many Epsilon-level mutants, shunned by society for their grotesque appearances or debilitating conditions. They've banded together to create a refuge for those who can't pass as human. Their stories are a sobering look at the darker side of the X gene. One notable example is Artie Maddox, whose mutation altered his appearance so drastically that he no longer looks remotely human. His skin turned pink and hairless, with strange growths on his head and large, emotionless eyes. As if that weren't enough, Artie lost his ability to speak and can now only communicate by projecting holographic images of his thoughts. While his ability is fascinating, it doesn't come close to compensating for the hardships he endures every day. Epsilon mutants remind us of the heavy price that some mutants pay for their powers. But while their struggles are immense, the majority of mutants fall into a more mundane category: Delta-level mutants, the everyday heroes. Delta-level mutants are the most common type of mutant, representing about 50% of the mutant population. These individuals have powers that are subtle, functional, and often non-threatening. What sets Delta mutants apart is their ability to blend into human society. They lack the physical deformities or extreme drawbacks that plague Epsilon and Gamma mutants. Let's take a closer look at Domino. Her mutation grants her an extraordinary ability, the power to manipulate probability in her favor. In simple terms, she's incredibly lucky, but here's the catch. Her luck isn't automatic. Domino has to actively take advantage of the favorable outcomes her powers create. For example, if she's under fire in a gunfight, she can't just stand still and expect the bullets to miss her. Instead, she has to keep moving, relying on her instincts and adrenaline to create opportunities for her powers to shine. Then there's Forge, whose mutation allows him to instinctively understand and build complex machinery. He doesn't need blueprints or training. His X gene gives him an intuitive grasp of technology that rivals even the smartest human inventors. However, Forge's power is practical rather than flashy, keeping him firmly in the Delta category. Most Delta mutants live relatively normal lives, often unaware that their abilities are even tied to the X gene. But as we move up the hierarchy, we encounter mutants whose powers and flaws are far more visible. Gamma-level mutants, powerful but flawed. Gamma mutants are where the stakes start to rise. These individuals possess significant abilities, often on par with higher-tier mutants, but their powers come with severe drawbacks that make everyday life a struggle. Unlike Delta mutants, Gammas often have physical mutations or other challenges that make it impossible for them to hide their true nature. Consider Blink, a mutant whose powers are as extraordinary as they are dangerous. Blink can create teleportation discs, allowing her to transport herself and others across vast distances. But her appearance, lilac skin, pink hair, and strange facial markings sets her apart in ways that can't be ignored. Her mutation makes her an asset in combat, but it also isolates her from the world around her. Nightcrawler is another iconic Gamma mutant. His ability to teleport within a limited range and cling to surfaces makes him a formidable ally. But his appearance, indigo fur, glowing golden eyes, and a prehensile tail has made him a target of fear and prejudice throughout his life. For Nightcrawler, his powers are both a blessing and a curse, granting him incredible abilities while marking him as an outsider. Other Gamma mutants, like Blob and Marrow, face similar challenges. While their powers are undeniably useful, their physical deformities and the stigma they face from society make life far more difficult than it is for most mutants. For Gamma mutants, power comes at a cost, but for some mutants, the balance of power and imperfection tips in a much more favorable direction. Beta-level mutants, powerful with minor flaws. Beta-level mutants are often considered the almost perfect tier. Their powers are as strong as those of alpha mutants, but they come with small, manageable flaws. These imperfections don't overshadow their abilities, but they do add an extra layer of complexity to their lives. Wolverine is a prime example. His healing factor and retractable claws make him nearly invincible in combat. However, his powers are always active, and his retractable claws, while iconic, were originally bone, causing him immense pain before they were coated in adamantium. Additionally, his feral instincts sometimes make it difficult for him to maintain control. Then there's Gambit, whose ability to charge objects with explosive kinetic energy makes him a powerhouse in battle. However, his glowing red eyes serve as a constant reminder of his mutant identity, preventing him from blending in with society. Beta mutants represent a fascinating balance of power and imperfection, but the next level on the hierarchy achieves something truly extraordinary. Alpha-level mutants, the best of both worlds. Alpha mutants are the pinnacle of mutant kind when it comes to balance. These individuals have incredible powers, with no significant drawbacks, allowing them to operate at peak efficiency without sacrificing their humanity. Kitty Pryde, for example, can phase through walls and other solid objects, a power that's as useful in combat as it is in daily life. Despite her extraordinary ability, Kitty looks completely human, allowing her to live without the stigma faced by many other mutants. Dazzler, another alpha mutant, has the power to absorb sound waves and convert them into powerful bursts of light or lasers. Her mutation is seamless and unobtrusive, making her one of the most versatile mutants in the X-Men roster. Even Rogue, once a beta mutant, has ascended to alpha status after learning to control her power to absorb the abilities and memories of others. With this mastery, Rogue has become one of the most formidable and balanced mutants in the Marvel Universe. But as powerful as alphas are, they pale in comparison to the rarest and most dangerous mutants of all, Omega-level mutants, the apex predators. Omega-level mutants stand at the apex of mutant evolution, possessing abilities that go beyond anything measurable. Unlike other mutant categories, which have clear limits or boundaries to their powers, Omega mutants are defined by their limitless potential. Their abilities are so vast and versatile that they can shape the very fabric of existence. This makes them both revered and feared, as their powers can lead to unimaginable creation or catastrophic destruction. They are not just mutants, they are forces of nature, capable of reshaping the world, the galaxy, or even the multiverse. Take Jean Grey, one of the most iconic Omega-level mutants. Her telepathy and telekinesis are unparalleled, but her true power emerges when she becomes the host of the Phoenix Force. As the Phoenix, Jean gains godlike abilities. She can manipulate matter at a molecular level, control time, and even obliterate entire civilizations. Her journey highlights the double-edged sword of being an Omega. While her powers make her a nearly unstoppable force, they also threaten to consume her, as the Phoenix Force often overwhelms her humanity. Jean's story is a cautionary tale of what happens when limitless power meets fragile mortality. Similarly, Magneto, often misunderstood as merely a master of magnetism, possesses powers far beyond what most imagine. His control over electromagnetic fields allows him to manipulate metals, but his Omega-level classification stems from his ability to alter the Earth's magnetic poles, disrupt technology on a global scale, and even move celestial bodies. Magneto is not just powerful, he's strategic. He uses his abilities as a weapon for his ideology, pushing mutant kind to fight for survival in a world that fears and hates them. This makes him both a hero and a villain, depending on your perspective. Another Omega mutant who often surprises is Storm. At first glance, her ability to control weather may seem straightforward, but it's far more complex. Storm can alter the planet's climate on a global scale, create natural disasters like hurricanes or blizzards, and even manipulate atmospheric conditions in outer space. She's been shown to summon lightning that can kill gods and manipulate the air in a person's lungs. Her powers make her one of the most versatile and formidable mutants alive, and yet, like many Omegas, she balances this immense power with grace and humility. Franklin Richards, the son of Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman, takes Omega-level potential to the extreme. As a reality warper, Franklin can create entire universes from nothing. He's capable of rewriting the laws of physics, bending time, and crafting alternate dimensions. Even the Celestials, godlike cosmic entities, regard him as one of the most powerful beings in existence. Franklin's story emphasizes the incredible possibilities of Omega mutants, as well as the enormous responsibility that comes with such power. Other notable Omegas include Iceman, who can lower temperatures to absolute zero and control water molecules, and Legion, whose fractured psyche grants him a nearly infinite number of powers. Each Omega mutant is unique, but but they all share the same characteristic. Their abilities are boundless, making them the rarest and most dangerous of all mutants. But with great power comes great isolation. Omega mutants often face struggles that no one else can understand. Their power set them apart from even other mutants, making them outliers in their own community. Jean Grey's battle with the Phoenix Force, Magneto's relentless crusade, and Franklin Richards' challenge to balance his cosmic-level abilities with his humanity are all examples of the burden of being an Omega. They may be the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe, but their stories remind us that even the strongest face challenges that transcend power. Omega mutants are the ultimate expression of mutant potential, yet their lives are a constant tug-of-war between their extraordinary abilities and their humanity. They represent the hope and danger of evolution, reminding us that power, no matter how great, always comes at a cost. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please like and subscribe to the channel for more amazing Marvel comics.